I never imagined that the worst day of my life would not be the day I buried my husband, but the day his own father looked me in the eyes and said words that turned our love story into ashes. My name is Hadiya, and for 12 beautiful, ordinary years, I was Mrs. Ahmed Khan. We met in university, two young hearts dreaming under the same Lahore sky. He was the quiet, ambitious boy who wanted to build something lasting. I was the girl who believed in us more than I believed in myself. We got married in a simple courtyard ceremony, and from that day, we became a team. I taught literature at a local college, then gave it up when his mother fell ill so I could care for her day and night. I sold every piece of gold my father left me to help Ahmed buy the plot of land for our dream house. Every brick, every curtain, every late-night discussion about the future. I poured my soul into it. We had no children, but we had each other, and that felt like enough. Ahmed worked tirelessly, building a small textile business that slowly grew into something respectable. People in our circle called us the perfect couple. I believed them. Then, one ordinary Tuesday, he complained of chest pain while we were having evening tea. By midnight, he was gone. A massive heart attack, the doctor said. I held his hand until it went cold. I thought the pain would kill me, too. The funeral was a blur of white shrouds and whispered prayers. The entire mahalla came. His relatives hugged me, told me I was strong, told me Ahmed was in a better place. I stood there like a ghost in my own life, wearing the same white dupatta I had worn the day we got married. After the last guests left, the house grew quiet. Too quiet. Ahmed's father, Baba, asked everyone to gather in the living room. Me, my two brothers-in-law, their wives, the same room where we had celebrated Eid for 12 years. Baba cleared his throat, his face hard as stone. "Beta," he said, looking straight at me, "now that Ahmed is no more, we must speak plainly. Property is for blood family only. This house, the shop, the land, everything stays with us. You are not blood. You can take your clothes and personal things. We will give you 1 week." The words landed like a slap I didn't see coming. My knees buckled. I opened my mouth, but no sound came out. I looked at the faces around me, faces that had smiled at me for years, and saw only cold calculation. No one spoke up for me, not one. That moment, something inside me cracked wide open. The man I had loved, the family I had served, the home I had built with my own hands, none of it had ever truly belonged to me. But what I didn't know that day was that this was only the beginning of the storm. The next morning, they changed the locks while I was at the graveyard saying my final goodbye to Ahmed. When I came back, my suitcase was waiting outside the gate like I was some unwanted guest. My clothes, my books, even the small photo album I kept under the bed, everything tossed out like trash. I stood there in the rain, staring at the house I had painted myself, the garden I had planted rose bushes in, the kitchen where I had cooked for every family gathering. My heart didn't just break, it shattered into pieces so small I thought I would never find them again. I called my brothers-in-law, begged them to at least let me stay 1 night. They said Baba's word was final. "Property is for blood family only," they repeated, like a chant that excused every cruelty. I slept on my old college friend's couch that night, crying until my eyes swelled shut. The grief I felt for Ahmed twisted into something darker, betrayal so deep it poisoned every memory. Every time he had said, "our house," every time he had promised, "I will always take care of you," now felt like a lie. Had he known? Had his father already poisoned his mind? I found old voice notes on my phone where Ahmed once said, "Whatever I have is yours, John. Blood or not, you are my real family." But those words were gone now, buried with him. For weeks I wandered in a fog. I stopped eating, I stopped sleeping, I would sit on the friend's balcony at 3 a.m. and whisper to the moon, "What did I do to deserve this?" The same relatives who once called me Bobby now crossed the street when they saw me. My phone stopped ringing. The loneliness was worse than the grief. But pain has a strange way of sharpening you. One night, while going through the only box of documents I had managed to save, I found something that lit a small, dangerous spark inside me. Bank statements, transfer records, my father's inheritance, every single rupee used as down payment for the house. My salary for 8 years deposited straight into the joint account that bought the shop's machinery, even the renovation receipts with my signature. I had kept copies because I was always the one who handled the paperwork. Ahmed used to tease me, "You're too careful, Hadiya." That carefulness was about to become my weapon. I met a lawyer the next day, a quiet, fierce woman who specialized in women's property rights. She listened to my story without pity and said, "They think blood is thicker than marriage. The law disagrees." For the first time in months, I felt something other than broken. I felt seen. I felt the first flicker of strength. I stopped crying in public. I started gathering every piece of paper, every old email, every witness statement from the workers at the shop who remembered me working beside Ahmed late into the night. The more they tried to erase me, the more I refused to disappear. The betrayal had destroyed the girl I used to be, but it was forging someone new, someone they would regret crossing.
The courtroom smelled of old wood and tension. Baba sat across from me, eyes fixed on the floor. My brothers-in-law shifted uncomfortably in their seats. I sat tall in my simple white shalwar kameez, the same color I wore the day they threw me out. My lawyer presented every receipt, every bank transfer, every message where Ahmed had written that the house was our shared dream. She played a short clip from a family video where Ahmed, smiling at the camera, said, "Hadiya built this home with me, brick by brick." The judge listened. Baba's face turned pale. When it was his turn to speak, Baba's voice cracked for the first time. "She is not blood," he repeated, but this time it sounded weak, almost ashamed. My lawyer asked him one question. "Did your son ever tell you he wanted Hadiya to have nothing after him?" Baba had no answer. The silence in that courtroom was louder than any scream. The verdict came 3 months later. The house, the one I had poured my life into, was declared matrimonial property. I was awarded full ownership and a share in the business proceeds. Baba and my brothers-in-law had to pay back every rupee they had taken from the joint accounts. The same day the judgment was read, word spread through our mohalla like wildfire. Old aunties who had ignored my calls now whispered about greed and karma. The family that once stood united behind blood only now stood alone. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. The day I got the keys back, I walked through the empty house. The walls still carried the faint smell of the paint we had chosen together. I stood in the courtyard where Ahmed and I had planted those rose bushes and whispered, "I fought for us, Jan, not against you, but for what we built." Baba never came to ask for forgiveness. I heard later that the stress of losing the case affected his health. My brothers-in-law had to sell part of the shop to pay what the court ordered. I didn't feel joy in their pain, only a quiet, heavy peace. Today I live in that same house, but it feels different. I turned the extra room into a small library for girls who have nowhere to go. I teach them that their worth is not decided by someone else's bloodline or bank account. If there is one thing this betrayal taught me, it is this. Blood may claim property on paper, but love and courage claim your soul. Never let anyone convince you that you are less than family just because you weren't born into it. The people who try to erase you will one day watch you rise, not because you wanted revenge, but because you refused to stay broken. I am no longer the woman who stood crying in the rain outside her own gate. I am the woman who walked back in, head high, heart healed. And that is the sweetest justice of all.